Good morning, traders. Welcome to this week's Elliott Wave Forex and Cryptocurrency Market Analysis webinar. I hope you all had a wonderful week. The market has been sort of ranging for the last couple of days, although there has been some pairs that have rallied. So we're going to have a look this morning and see how the market looks. It is Heritage Day today in South Africa. So on the outset, I just want to apologize for the short notice in the change of the webinar time. We know that we have these webinars on Sundays at 10 GMT. So yesterday I had to move it because it's a long weekend in South Africa. As I've said, it is a Heritage Day. So hence the reason why we're having the webinar today on a Monday. This is not our usual time. We're going to revert back to the usual time, our normal time, next week. So the normal time is 10 a.m. GMT. That is 12 p.m. South African time. Okay, so it is a Heritage Day. Heritage Day is a day to celebrate diversity in South Africa. So people are encouraged to wear their different culture, regalia, just to celebrate our diversity as a nation. So it's a very interesting day. You'll see that I've posted my traditional regalia on Facebook as well. You may want to just check it out. Nothing special, but it is just how diversified we are as a nation. Beautiful country we have here. All right, so let's get back to the business of the day. So let's start with the market analysis. Before we start, just make note the video may be about an hour and a half. So if you're only interested in specific pairs, no need to worry or have to toggle around and look for pairs. So because what I've done here, if it's the first time you're watching the video, what I've done here is link all the pairs that we're going to analyze today with timestamps, which means that you just go and click on a specific link or a specific pair, and it will take you straight where the analysis for that specific pair starts. Okay, so if you go to any of the videos from this year, unfortunately that's only from this year. Previous videos from the previous years, I have not got the timestamps. So you go to the Show More tab. This is the tab that you click on. Just show it with the annotation tool. You click on Show More, and it will show you all the timestamps. Okay, so something interesting. I know there's a number of people who don't necessarily speak English, so they may not be able to understand the language. So also on the videos, I've recently started putting on the subtitles. I'm not 100% sure, I can be corrected with this, but I think if a video has got subtitles, you can actually change those subtitles to your language. Okay, so that will help those who do not clearly understand the English language. It should work very well. All right, so you will find the links for the next webinar. For every webinar on Sundays, you will find it under the comment section pinned. Let me see if I have it pinned here. So you'll find, yes, like this one here, you'll find it pinned here. Okay, you will also find it on our Telegram channel. I'll show you just now. So just note here under the comments section, you'll find an invitation from me for the webinar. So you can just go and link us up for next week. It will be back to 10 a.m. GMT, as well as 12 p.m. South African time. That's where you will find us. All right. So just give me a second, guys. Sorry guys, it's a holiday after all. I just had to attend to something. Let's resume, recording back live. Right, so that's where you get all the information. Also about the next course, it's about almost in 2 weeks time already. It's going to be on the 8th of October. So anybody who's interested in attending our course, send me an email. You'll also find the email under the description of each and every video. That's where you'll get more detail about the course, the course content, the timing, and you can also ask me any specific questions about the course and I will respond there. Okay, so usually I don't miss any email. If I do, please just resend it. It may just have been one of those random feed that you can possibly miss. So I'll try to respond to all the emails. Okay, so let's get started with today's analysis. Any questions before we get started? Everybody happy? All right, let's start. So as usual, we're going to start with the Euro US dollar and the dollar index. There is something very interesting in how this is playing out. Okay, so next week, Sunday, as it's going to be actually this coming Sunday, I'm going to show you something interesting about Euro US dollar that we have discussed previously that is actually playing out right now. Okay, but let's have a look at today's market analysis. That is going to be for next week. So let's look at where we are now. Where we are right now, we have finished this down swing here at wave A. I'm going to show this when I go to the Euro US dollar chart, but maybe I can just show it quickly on the daily on Euro US dollar. So that's Euro US dollar at the top. Let me just show you the whole structure on both pairs. So I'm going to go to the daily. Okay, so the daily. And bottom is the DXY, the dollar index. So let's do the comparison for the two. I know it's not very clear on when I'm looking at them at the same time, but I'm trying to show you the correlation between the two pairs. So that's why I prefer you see both and see that they are correlated peak for peak. All right. So let's have a look here. This is what we have so far. So what we have been looking at on Euro US dollar, I'm going to start from this string and I'm going to start from this string here. So on Euro US dollar, we had this upswing that went up like that. So what is happening now is we have started the correction with the A wave in yellow. Okay, A wave in yellow. Let's switch all that off. Okay, let's switch all that off so we can only see the annotation because the numbers can be very confusing. So we have started with a swing upswing. Similarly here on the dollar index, let's just put it in the same peak. Let's just clear that quickly. So the dollar index has got the same swing that started here, same place, made a pulsing move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right now we have got this first A move, and we're expecting a B and then a C. Okay. Similarly here we're expecting a B down and then a C up. Okay, so this is a focus. So we need to go into detail to see where the turning points are and what the corrections are and how this is going to play out exactly. So we've got more detail from that A wave. I'm going to show just now. So that A wave, we forecasted when we were still right here that we are going to get a 1, 2, 3, and then we had this as a triangle, and then that became a wave 4, and then a 5. Similarly here, we started with a 1, we've got a 2, you've got a 3, and what we call a running triangle, we've got there, and then a 5. You can see that they are correlated peak for peak. So if you want numbers, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so that is very clear. The Euro US dollar and the DXY pairs with one of the most simplest structures. It's all pulsing moves. So it's easier when it's pulsing moves. And this happens about only 10 or 15% of the time. Right, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have finished this string. The string is finished here and the string is finished here. So now we are getting this three-wave correction here. We're getting these three-wave corrections. The question is whether this three-wave, how far is this going to go? Similarly here, how far is this one going to go? Let's draw it cleanly. How far is this one going to go? This one has already broken this top. This one has already broken this low. So there's a likelihood that this will keep going up to around the 50% area. That's what we forecasted last time. We forecasted that this is going to go to the 50% area. Euro US dollar will go to the 50% area as well, which is 1.2. So we forecasted that all that when this was only just starting up. So we're still expecting further upside from Euro US dollar, further downside from the DXY to around this level. So why are we only expecting around these areas? Because this is about the sweet spot, the 50 to 61%. Why that? Because this has started with a pulsing move, so we may expect that we start here with another pulsing move or a diagonal, whichever one. So that will then give you the complete A, B, C, complete A, B, and then a C. Okay, so there's something interesting when you go into the lower time frame on whether this is gonna push higher or this is gonna push lower. Okay, so let's go into detail on Euro US dollar now and have a look on the 4-hour chart. We're gonna go Euro US dollar. Let's go one screen. I think I actually still need both of them. So let's put them both on the 4 hour. Let's go 4 hour. And see what we are looking at there. Both of them on the 4 hour. Very interesting. So the 4 hour, we are just zooming in into the last swing, into the latest swing. So that's what we have. So we are going to look at these two pieces here. Two pieces. So if you remember, this is that last wave 5 that ended the wave A. Similarly here, same place. So let's have a look at this. How is this playing out? Okay, I'm going to show you the labeling as well. Pretty interesting here. So two things are going to happen here between these two pairs. Right, so we've got the one that has completed the A in red. So this one, you may have looked at this as a diagonal, but it cannot be a diagonal because this is not the low. The low is actually here. So this cannot be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 diagonal that would have given you a correction and a push higher. It cannot be because this is not the orthodox low. So the orthodox low is actually here, which means that this pair has only made a 3-wave move, not a 5-wave move. So this has started here. 1, 2, 3. That's all. It has only made a 3-wave move. But interestingly, the DXY has made the 5-wave move. Okay, let me show you what I mean by that. So this is the swing that I'm looking at. This is the swing that we're looking at. That is not the low on the euro US dollar, but it is the high on the DXY. So which means the DXY could have possibly made a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 diagonal, and it is now correcting that diagonal. Okay, so this has made a 3-wave move and could only be correcting the 3-wave move, and we expect possibly another 3-wave move that will make this a WXY move that will take us to the 1.2 that we're looking for, and this one could be the ABC move, a correction, and another ABC move that will take us down to the level that we're looking at. So this becomes now a WXY on the DXY. Sorry, excuse me guys, I've run out of space and I cannot redo this. So a WXY on the DXY and a WXY on the Euro US dollar pair. So those are the two things that could happen. A little bit more correction here. It looks like it's going up here, but it may still correct a little bit further or just push higher. So it is convincing for it to push higher because it has already broken that high. Let me clear that. This high has already been broken, so that can keep pushing higher to the 1.2. But at some point, it will need to give you a clear correction. Similarly here, even if this is correcting only the diagonal, you can still get that correction and get a push higher and get a push lower. Okay, so that is what you're looking at on these two pairs, right? So let's have a look. So it looks like it's already pushing up higher. So that small candle doesn't mean anything. Small candle up on the euro US dollar. You can actually buy this if you like to scalp, but you need to make sure that when you get to this level, you actually move your stop to break even, because this is what you could get here. It may not go anywhere, but rather correct before it pushes higher. Similarly here, it can come down here and rather give you some kind of a correction before it pushes lower. So that's the decision that you need to make. But either way, the two pairs are following the structure as analyzed. Okay, so let's go back to one pair just for clarity. I'm going to look only at the euro US dollar. So euro US dollar, as you've indicated, this is the ABC move that is currently happening. So is this C wave complete? Can we put this in place on the 4 hour? That is the question that will be answered depending on the correction that we're going to get here. Because this C wave, this can actually be something like this. This C can be there, this A can be there, and you can actually have a move like that. This may not even be an ABC, but rather a 1, 2, 3 W correction X 1, 2, 3 Y, taking us to the 1.2 that we are looking at. So it's easy to wait for this correction and see how we get. So you may not even get that correction if you can just push higher to the 1.2. Either way, the market will show you which one it is. All right, so we've spent enough time on that one. So let's carry on with the rest of the pairs. So that is the DXY and the Euro US dollar. So let's just quickly do also DXY for completeness. DXY. So DXY, you can see that what we are getting now is the start of the correction after this A. It's a clear ABC move. So I'm calling this one ABC because it has made a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 move, and this is actually a diagonal. And now it completed that 3-wave move, and now it is starting to get a correction like that. It may do that and drop. So let's keep an eye, or even deeper than that. Okay, so that is the structure that you will be looking at on the DXY, and that is the structure you will be looking at on Euro US dollar. Okay, very interesting on both sides. Okay, so far this is what we still have. We still have this as an ABC, and that ABC we're expecting to complete around the 207 area. Okay, let's keep an eye. Right, let's get on with the rest of the pairs. Pound US dollar. So pound US dollar, it is amazing how this wave analysis is. So you see that I always write the caption, we wave differently on all my videos, and this is the reason why, because as much as most waivers show you the forecast and all that, we've got a clear strategy that shows you where the turning points are, which we have labeled, which we call the blue box magic. So you'll see that when you get to the blue box, it is a reversal area. So this pair, yes, last week we indicated that it's going to get to the blue box area and reverse. You see, it touches the blue box and it starts reacting. Two things can happen in the blue box. You can either get a reaction, which is a correction, or it can be a reversal. So right now we have gone into the blue box, and now we got that reversal. Okay, so now what are we looking at? We're looking for this to see if we're going to get a correction for further downside. Okay, so last week we looked at this like as a 3-wave correction. I also wanted this to go up to the 135, but let's see, it is still possible, but what structure will take it there? So that's what you need to understand. The forecast has not changed, even if you got a reversal there or a reaction. It can be a reversal or a reaction. So you can get a structure like this, something like this, and still push higher with this move. Remember here you went up with 3 waves, and you had one of those guaranteed setups here where you get a WXY move in the lower degree, WXY correction in the lower degree. Same thing here. We don't have this X yet. It is possible. It may not even be this big. It can be just a short one and comes down. Okay, or it can even make a flat correction around this area, giving you something like this to push higher. That is if this correction is not enough to correct all this move, because that's your move. The red string is the move that is being corrected by this. If we get this structure and it starts pushing up with this one, we're going to get a very good trade. We're going to trade it up and we're going to trade it down. Okay, but for now we have got this move. It's a single wave down, so you may get another one to the downside. So keep an eye on this one. You can even enter if you get this flex, just so you can get this move initially. Okay, at this point you don't know if this is complete, because if this is complete, then it's just gonna go with that move. But I'm expecting that we're gonna make something like this, either that zigzag or go like that, or it can make 1, 2, go retest and make a flat correction. It's possible as well. So you need to expect both possibilities. But as you can see, all the possibilities that I'm showing you are all giving the same bias, all right? And which is correction and upside, but the overall bias is for this correction to complete and go down. Whether it's going to complete there with a double or it's going to complete here with a single correction A, B, C, that's what we do not know at this stage. That's why we need to wait for this confirmation here. Okay, so let's look at that one like that. So look for lower time frame correction to confirm this one. So if we go to the 1 hour on this one, there's 3-wave up, pulse down, and now you're getting this. Okay, you're getting this. So this also can be all the correction. You just cannot see it because we're in the we're actually on the 1 hour. But if you go down to the lower time frame, depending on how this cycle plays out, you can go and check what the structure internally for this is. You can even go check it in the 15-minute time frame and see what gives you. So we just don't have time to go into detail and look at that. So here we're just doing highlight overview of market analysis. We go into the detail during our daily mentorship sessions in our group. All right, so next one is US dollar CAD. US dollar CAD is looking very interesting. It's following structure as we've analyzed. So I'm not even going to show you the labeling here. I'm just going to show you the structure. Let's go 4-hour time frame. A very clear structure. So if you look at this, we looked at two possibilities last week. And the two possibilities was whether this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 was a WXY XZ. This is why you have an alternative, not because you don't know the direction or you're guessing the direction, but because that is what the market gives you. It gives you two or more valid alternatives that you can actually take. So you need to wait for one to confirm. So when one confirms, it eliminates the other. So here we are finding that this is not a WXYXZ. It is not, but rather it is a move. It's a three-wave move, simple like that. So this is the move. Let's show the move. It is actually a 1. It's actually an expanding flat in the middle, and we're getting this one here. So that is why this is still coming down. If this was a WXYXZ, this was ready to go up. So this still just needs to push a little lower before we get a move to the upside. We are still expecting upside when this is complete here. Okay, so why are we expecting that upside? Because we've got this that will look like a possible WXY, not like that. Let's go with the arrow. WXYXZ, possible move like that. Okay, so that's what you're looking for. So far it is going according to the structure. You'll see that I've got this exact same structure on pound AUD as well. WXYXZ, so Y and then X and then a Z. So this move does not seem to be complete. Right, so let's have a look. So this has happened before. Let's look on this. Let's go to the daily. You'll see that that has happened before. Let's show you there. That's how patterns, that's why patterns are so powerful, because I mean, pattern means repeat. So if something repeats itself, then you can always just refer back in time. So you can see here we also had a WXY XZ move. So I'll show you another one when you go to pound AUD. So here's as well, we're looking for a WXY XZ possibly, as you can see. So I've shown this structure I think a couple of weeks back and how exactly we traded it. You can just go and watch some of the previous videos in the last couple of weeks. You'll see that I've shown you how we traded this, and it may just be the exact way that we're going to trade this. So from that, we got this 1,000 pips to the downside. There's a possibility that we got another big move to the downside after this one is complete. Okay, so what is the next immediate move on this one? Let's show the labeling there. So the next move is to go into the blue box. Before we go. So if you see those arrows that I have there, those lines were drawn before this structure played out. So you can see that we had the move down, we had the move up, we had the move down. So if you go into the previous videos, you'll see that I have got this level, these lines from when we were still here. So now we're looking for this to come into the blue box and get a reaction higher. This will be a very nice move to trade up and then the big one down. Okay, so here we may get that guaranteed move to the upside, and when you get a guaranteed move to the upside, you're going to get a guaranteed move to the downside. So keep an eye and be patient, and don't give up, and don't lose interest in a pair when it is playing out. Maybe a very nice one to get in the next couple of days. So we want it to go into the blue box first. Right, let's carry on with the rest of the pairs. That's US dollar CAD. Let's look at US dollar CHF. US dollar CHF. Let's go to the lower time frame. So this one has not got a clear structure, so we just trade it based on correlation. We look at what Euro US dollar is going to do and trade this one as well to the downside. So it looks like we have got this three-wave up that we've traded as well. Even this one we traded just based on correlation. So all these three-wave bounces we traded. So here you're getting another three-wave bounce. So this is telling you that euro may be going up, and this one may be coming down for one more. So keep an eye on this one. So a break of this correction may be giving you another one more, similar to what you got here. So you can get this one, similar to what you got. So it's just pulling back in three waves, whether it's a lower degree like this one or a higher degree like this one. So this one you can see it's a lower degree, so you may get another one to push to the downside. So that is a US dollar chief. Wait for this one to come down here. So you need to have a strategy though to trade this, as you cannot just trade the flex without turning points and exact levels. Okay. So I don't give the exact levels here, so that's why I don't even apply the fibs here. You can see them on the chart, but I just don't have time to show that here. And besides, that is a privilege for the guys in the premium group. They'll be upset with me if I show you all the cards. Okay, right. So let's go to AUD US dollar. AUD US dollar looks very interesting as well. It's got a clear structure. So let's have a look here. As you can see, as we said last week, you'll see that we wanted to get to the blue box. We are in the blue box. We've made a three-wave move into the blue box. Is this going to reverse? It does not look like reversal. It looks like we are correcting. So if we are correcting, that means that this is we're going to get a double correction here and get another move to the upside. So let's keep an eye and see how this one plays out. So after this break, you may get a push, a little bit more push higher on AUD US dollar. Okay, so let's show the full structure. We've got this one in the daily chart on our group. So let's just have a look here. So what we could be seeing here on the daily. Okay, so we've indicated that. So I was expecting that we're going to get one more down. So to get one more down, we need to get this one coming down as an impulse or as a diagonal. As a diagonal with a correction and then downside. Okay, either an impulse or a diagonal, because an impulse and the diagonal are both motive waves. So that will confirm to you the structure that will come next, as I'm expecting one more down before we go up. Okay, but in terms of correlation and the way the market is moving right now with the Euro US dollar up, this may just be a correction that pushes up here. Okay, but this push up, you can see it's in the lower degree green. So we're gonna need to make adjustments if it goes from here and does not give us that one more down. If that happens, that means that your W is going to be located right, not there. So that means that the Y in green and the W and the Y in red will be complete in this area. And that will be the full structure. Right now, we've gone up with in 5, 3, 5. This is a 5, this is a 3, this is a 5. It is a three-wave move. So this can just give you one more before we come up. So that correction can just be for one small wave up, which is 5 of the A, and we go down. So it could be a correction. Okay, so let's keep an eye and see how that one plays out. It'll be very nice to get this one because this will be the last one, and then we're going to get the end of the swing, because what we're trying to do here is to get reversal areas. Okay, so that's AUD US dollar. So you also need to compare AUD with gold. Okay, because this is a metal currency. So gold, we're expecting a little bit of a push higher before we come down. So you'll see when we get to gold what the analysis look like. So you need to look at the correlation coefficient between AUD and the metals, specifically gold and silver. Right, so that is AUD US dollar, New Zealand. Let's look at New Zealand. Okay, New Zealand. So New Zealand looks like it's making a V pattern towards the end, so it may also be making a reversal there. So this is the structure that you're getting, and you may be getting a correction there for a push higher. Okay, so let's see how this one plays out. Let's see how this one plays out. Okay, so let's just show the structure as well. So we have actually located the last wave of this diagonal. So this could actually be ready to get out and give you a three-wave move, but this is only a C wave. It's only a C wave, so it could be a three-wave move up, similar to. So this one is going well with what the Euro US dollar is doing. One up before we go to the downside, but that one up on Euro US dollar still has about 200 pips to go. So even here, if you get an entry point in the lower degree, you can take it up to the B before we come down. And this C is modestly placed here. It may push a little bit lower than that before we get the end of this swing. All right, so let's go to the lower time frame and see what we're looking at in the near term, or the next immediate move. Okay. As you can see, you are getting a corrective structure here, similar to what you're getting on AUD US dollar. So you are going to get push higher on these ones. Looks like it is complete. Okay, so you can actually take this one, put a stop around here, and this may push a little bit up from that level. Okay, this one looks good to take now. But it's you don't know where this is going to end. You need to have a look. It's actually got quite a bit to go. Okay, still has quite a bit to go. So Harry has already entered, so it's good. Right, nice one. All right, you can see that is the reaction on the blue box, and you're gonna get a bit of a push higher. So the blue box area was supposed to be the area where the three-wave move has completed, which is here. So we have pushed higher than this. So if we look here, let's just do this quickly. I'll bring this back just now. Okay, sorry guys, I'm just gonna pause the screen quickly, and I just wanna bring up just 1 second. Just 1 second, guys. I just wanna do something quickly. Put up the 1,618 there and not show the levels. Right, let's resume. There we go. Right, so this is what I did not put up here. This is actually the 1,618. So this is no longer a three-wave move, but rather a five-wave move because of this. This is actually the 1,618. This is the 100%. So you can see that this has made a 1, it's a 2, it's a 3. You're getting a 4 here. That's why you're going to get a push higher. You are almost guaranteed to get a push higher for the wave 5. Guys in our group know how to project the length of wave 5. So you guys can go and do that. Harry, you know how to project the wave 5. So that's what you have here. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You've got this 5 wave, the 5th wave that you can still take from here. Okay, so that means you're still going to get a push higher and you're still going to get a deeper correction than this. So that is what the cycle is showing you. Interesting one, this one. It's got a clearer structure. Okay, so have a look at that one. So even internally, if you look at this one, it has got 1, 2, and what we call a nest. We call this one a nest. 1, 2, 3, 4 in the lower degree. So this may even be a 4 in the lower degree, 5, and then you get a 4 where in the red. Let's go do the other color. Let's use red this time. If you look at this one, looks like it's a very clear impulsive wave, 4 in the red, and only then will it complete this. You've got a 3-degree nest there, 1, 2. Let me switch off the labelings and the colors so you can see clearly. So you've got 1, 2 in yellow. If that is the case, you may still get something like this. So this may still have some way to go. Okay, so this may even end as a diagonal, as you can see there. It does not have to, but the structure is very clear. 3, 4, 5. Okay, lower degree. I'm showing them in this almost the same degree when I'm typing, but the color separates the degree. So white is the lowest degree out of these 3, 4, 5. The red, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so that is the structure that you're looking for. So now you're getting this one in the red. So don't be surprised when you get this one, you take it and then it starts coming back down. You may find that it does not go all the way down, but it just corrects in wave 4 and then pushes up in wave 5 and corrects again deeply with the wave 5. So what you need here is to project the wave 5 based on the wave 2 in yellow. Okay, right. So let's carry on here. So that's what you're going to need, but it's easy to see that you may have a structure here on the break of this. Right, spend enough time on that. So that is New Zealand, US dollar ZAR. Okay, US dollar ZAR. We are in this current downtrend. So the sequence down on this wave, this 3-wave down on US dollar ZAR. Let's show the higher time frame here daily. So US dollar ZAR on the daily, I'm only looking at the last string. You've got one ABC move, ABC. It's actually a WXY move. Or is it? Let's just have a look here. WXY ended there. Okay, so this has made a three-wave move down in this degree. So it's possible that we get another three-wave move to the upside, more, and then further upside, meaning that we're going to have higher degrees than this. So you can also look at this one as an expanding flat, but there's a reason why I don't like that one as an expanding flat is that this move, let's just have a look here. If this was to be an expanding flat, it would not have started as this one. So this, okay, there's actually nothing that disqualifies this as an expanding flat. It just looks like this one made a 1, 2, 3 wave down, and this one made an impulse. So you don't necessarily have the three waves here. Okay, so if you're looking at this and as an expanding flat, this should have made a 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, but this one is impulsive and not 1, 2, 3. Then you would have got this one as a pulsing move to the downside, giving you this as a 1, 2, 3, but this is two pulsing. Okay, and too small as well. So if this was to be a correction, you need to get another one and makes a bigger one before you go, because this is correcting the whole string from right at the bottom. So this current correction that I'm indicating here is correcting this whole move. So it cannot be that small. Okay, cannot be that small. So I don't like this one as an expanding flat. So let's see how that one plays out. For now, you are going to get a move, a little bit of a push lower, and maybe another three-wave move up. Even retest 14 before we go. Okay, so not the clearest one at this stage, but it can be traded with the short-term moves. The reason why, okay, it's actually not clear in terms of how the correction is going to play out, but the overall structure, you can see that this is all the correction that you got, and you started a move. The swing started here. You've got a clear orthodox low here, and it made a three-wave move to the upside. So all you're waiting for is the correction. So what you don't know is whether the correction is going to play out as a zigzag, make another one, or a flat like that before it goes. But either way, we are going to retest this level on US dollar ZAR. Okay, so that's how the sequence is actually up. If it happens that we get a sideways move here, it's good to propel it to this level. Okay, so let's keep an eye on that one. That's US dollar. That's US dollar ZAR. Right. So let's carry on with the rest of the pairs. Pound JPY. So another one of those amazing blue box trades. We mentioned this one. I've been singing this blue box for the last 3 or 4 weeks. I've been seeing that we're going to get into the blue box and reverse. Tested it once, tested it a second time, tested it a third time, and reversed. Okay, so now are we going to get a move here, a correction here that will give us one more down? So that's what we need to look at. So this corrective structure, when it is complete, we're going to get this one more down and then up. And if it gives us this one, it's going to be a very nice one, because we're not just going to take it up, but we're going to take it all the way up as well. So let's keep an eye on the day 4 hour lower degree. Okay, so let's see how this one plays out. So you've got a pulsing move to the downside. You're getting this one looking like a correction here. Let's see how this one plays out. So this will tell us how this structure is going to play out. Okay, so if this is going to go up, it will have to give us a retest there and a move down. So that will mean that this sequence to the upside is not complete. But for now, we have got, as much as we've got two alternatives, the clearest one here now is that we have reversed from the blue box. We should get a correction and a move down. Even if that move down just means we're going to get a push higher. But for now, that's all you can do. If you get this one, it looks like it's starting up with a three-wave move. You can get this, you can get that. That will give you the flag for downside. So don't get excited with these so-called strong candles as it looks. Okay, so it doesn't mean anything. It's actually interesting that today we're doing market analysis when the market is open. We usually do this on Sunday, but that's okay. So let's just go 1 hour, see how this is playing out. Just looking at that correction in the lower degree. Hasn't really done anything. It's a three-wave up. Can even still do that before we drop. So I'm expecting this to correct and get one more down like that. That's pound JPY, US dollar JPY. US dollar JPY, we keep pushing higher and higher because we are looking for it to go and retest this level. Okay, we've been talking about this level for the last couple of days, and it looks like it's going there now. So every time it corrects, we're just pushing it higher. We're pushing it higher. It will eventually come to the 1320 area. Okay, so the 1320 area will be critical. Let's go to the 4-hour daily. 1320 area will be very critical to see what we get there, whether we're going to get a reaction before we push higher, because the overall target here on US dollar JPY in the medium term is to come back to the 118 area. So the reason why this 1320 is critical is that this may be an area where we get one more down before we go up. But that one more down does not have to happen. This can also have been all the three-wave move. It could also have been all the correction and 1, 2, 3, and then we could be ready to go like this. I don't like this one much. But it doesn't matter what I like. What's important is what the structure plays out at. Yes. So if we get to this level and we start correction like this, it means we're going to push higher. But if we get there and get an impulse or a diagonal down, that means that we may get one more down before we go. But overall, the bias is to go up. Okay, so US dollar JPY, keep finding these continuation patterns, all the corrective structures. All right, so that's US dollar JPY, EURJPY. EURJPY is not going with it's not necessarily going with the euros, but rather with the yen pairs. So expecting a bit of a push higher. Okay, after the break of that, let's see what we get here. If we get a correction here above this level, then we're going to retest this level here. Why am I looking at that? Because this is a 1, 2, 3 up, 1, 2, 3 down, 1, 2, 3 up. Okay, there's a likelihood that this can be 1 and this one becomes a 3, and we then go up. But if that corrects right at the top here, if we get a correction here, this may have ended and we're still gonna go and retest the 137 area on Euro JPY. Okay, so from there we may then expect that we're gonna get a move like that. But for now, let's look for continuation pattern on Euro JPY. So the fact that we're still forecasting bullish on Euro JPY also correlates with Euro US dollar. Okay, you can see that small structure is similar to what you have right now on Euro US dollar. Could still get a push higher on this one. Okay, can still get a push higher. Let's see how that plays out. Okay, that's Euro JPY, Chief JPY, one of those amazing trades. Okay, I'm not gonna repeat. You guys know how we traded this one so easily. So now let's look at what the Chief is doing here. So the Chief has made a clear three-wave move. I'm expecting that it will retest this level. We are very close to that level. We have made an A move with a diagonal. Now a B move with three-wave move with a regular flat, and a C move with an impulse. Okay, so if you show you the labeling there, you'll see that it's a clear diagonal. Let me just clear that. It's a clear diagonal A, B, C. Okay, so that C wave can come and retest here, or even push higher. Actually, there's another alternative here. Need to pause the screen. Some information I'm not supposed to show you guys here, unfortunately. Let me just pause for 2 seconds so I can put it up. I'm just gonna add something quickly. Okay, so that's what we have. I'm gonna resume the screen share again. Right. Back. Sorry guys about that. I have to do it, otherwise there is no benefit for the guys in the premium group. Okay, so if you look at this now, I'm gonna switch off. Instead of this being an ABC move, it can actually be a three-wave move, which means this is not an A, but rather a 1, but then a 2. That will be confirmed by it getting to this 118.4 area. So if we get to the 18.4, then we clearly see that this move to the upside is not 3 waves, but rather a 5-wave impulse that is going to form. So we're going to expect that from that level, we start getting correction and a push higher. See, that's how clear the rules are with that. If it does not turn in the blue box, we know that we're going to look for it to turn in the next level, fib level, which is that one there. Let's switch off here and show the overall structure and why that may push higher. Okay. So the reason why that may push higher and break that level is because it has made a 3-wave move up. As much as this is not the best expanding flat you can find, this last leg complies with the expanding flag, and this one actually takes the top, but this one misses the guideline by a few pips. So you could be getting a structure like this on this one. So you could keep pushing higher. So this will be an A wave, this will be a C wave. So that's why this one is already going as an impulse. So you will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that 5 needs to go to the 1840 minimum for us to label it as a 5. There's a specific reason why we do that, and that's based on the fib levels. So this one is still a very interesting one, still bullish. So that could lead the other euro pairs for further upside. So a break above this opens further upside to the 118.40 area. Okay, but that needs to go to that level, give us a bigger correction before we come down. Okay, so that's what you're going to be looking at. Very interesting, Chief JPY. Very interesting structure. So this may not be a 3-wave, so I'm going to take this off. It's possible that it is a 5-wave move in red. Let's show that 5 waves and put it on there. Adjust while we are here. 1, 2, 3. This 3 is not in place yet, and then a 4. So that will be a very nice structure. Why did my levels disappear? Okay. Anyway, I'm not going to do it again. So we've got that level, 1840, that we need to get to. It's very close. We're actually around 117 right now, 118 right now. So we could get to the 40, and then we get a correction. So we just need this to push 140, correct with the wave 4, push for wave 5. Only then that structure would have completed. Okay, very interesting one. That's Chief JPY. Let's do the rest of the yen pairs, Audi and New Zealand. Okay, so Audi, interesting. Audi is gonna make that 3-wave move together with gold. So gold, we're expecting a move up, similar to what you're going to get here on the Audi. So we've got this sequence that has ended here. We're getting that reversal, but that reversal may only be a 3-wave move. So if you get a corrective structure here, an entry point, you can take it back to that level. Could even retest that, giving you this whole structure as an expanding flat. Okay, as we are expecting of gold. All right, so let's go to the lower time frame for our some very interesting setups in the next coming sessions. So this looks like it has corrected. Looks like an immature flag though. Can come there, and then push up higher further. Okay, use your own entry strategy if you want to push this one higher with the rest of the pairs that have got US dollar weakness. That's AUDUSD, a little bit of a push higher, still prevalent. You're still pushing it higher. New Zealand also, let's have a look. Also correcting, needs to have this one complete for you to confirm that this will go up. All right, so the sequence agrees with this. So you can see we spoke about New Zealand Audi. It is similar in structure as New Zealand JPY. So you can compare that. That would have ended the sequence right here, and we're starting this one to the upside. Okay, let's keep an eye on that one. CAD JPY. So we look at CAD JPY. So CAD JPY is making this 1, 2, 3-wave move to the upside. So if we're still bullish, get a corrective structure, we're going to take it up to that level. So still bullish CAD. Okay, you'll see how oil is playing out. It's similar to what we're expecting of CAD as well. A bit of a push high before we get the correction to the downside. Okay, very interesting. All right, so that's CAD JPY, not the clearest trade at this stage, or even if you get a corrective flag here, it may not be a trade that is that goes or rallies fast. But you may have a look at it. Yes, EURJPY goes with the chief as well. That's correct. Right. That's all the yen pairs. Now let us look at before we go to gold and silver, or before we go to the pound pairs, let's look at gold. Okay, so gold, we are still looking for a bit of a upside there. Let's switch off here. We are looking, this whole thing is a wave 4 from the top of the string. So we're looking at this as a 1, 2, and this may be a third wave that makes a running flat in the higher degree. We've got an impulse there, and we may still get this push higher like that. So this gold may go with the yen pairs, with the euros as well. Okay, so let's see how this one plays out. Here, this flag, you can take an entry point to take it up back to that level. So that would make a 3-wave move, wave 4, and then down. What do I mean by wave 4? You can see the whole structure on that string. The whole structure on that string. If you see the green, you've got 1, 2 there. That's 1, that's 2, that's 3, that's 4, and then we look for a 5. So this going to the upside for a wave 4 will give us a very good risk to ratio trade to complete the last wave to the downside, which is going to be a wave 5. So it's going to be very interesting. So it has made a pulsing move to the downside, but it looks like that pulsing move, let's switch off, it looks that that move is actually a regular flat like that. So this correction here, WX, Y, running, impulse, correction, we go up in 3 waves before we come down. So that's what you're going to be looking at in gold. Looks like a very clear structure. Looks like a very clear structure. So this impulsive move to the downside does not mean that this is going to go. This is just the last wave of a regular flat. So you've got here 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, impulse down, which should be 5 waves, and now you're getting this one as a flag here. A break above that, you're gonna be starting this swing back to that level. Okay, let's look at that one in the lower degrees, see how that is playing out. You'll see that you don't really see the impulse there, but when you go into the 1 hour time frame, it will be a little bit more clearer than that. So you've got a clear impulse if you look here on the 1 hour. I'm zooming in and stretching it so you can see that that is pulsing, move, and a correction in the 1 hour. Okay, so that is a trade. So this one actually looks almost matured to take. So you've got a pulse, you've got a 1, 2, 3. So we've got this one to the upside. Any corrective structure here in the lower degree, you can take it up. Okay, looks like a pulsing move up, correction, and then we're gonna look for this one to the upside. Okay, all the way up actually to around the 240 area, 1240 area is possible. Okay, but it can also just make a 3-wave move before it comes down. But that is only the second alternative, which we'll update next week depending on how this plays out. For now, you're looking for this to break above here, for at least a move to that level. That is gold, and silver is actually doing exactly what we want it to do as well. It is busy with a correction around a important level. Let's look on the daily first and what we said last time about silver. So silver, this is the impulse. This is the low here of this string. Makes an impulse 1, 2, 3 waves. So now if this starts breaking below that level, it is correcting now, then it opens further downside to the 1350 area. And that is where we're gonna expect this to go if this correction is completed. So let's go to that correction. This is the current correction that is happening on XAU as well, which is gold. So let's have a look quickly. Right, so if we go to the 4 hour and look at the correction on silver, it is actually very clear structure. Very clear structure. It is making a 3-wave move up with an expanding flat, 3 waves back, and just making another 3 waves to the upside. So you can see here you've got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, We've made a 2, now you're going for a 3. So after this 3, same as gold, we'll expect a move to the downside, because this would have been a complete correction. So what does that correction mean? It's not just lines, there is a sequence that is apparent there, which is W, X, Y. So when that is completed, we'll expect this to drop for one more to around the 1350 area that we're looking at before we go. Okay, same as gold. All right. That's silver and gold. So now let us go to the pound pairs. So the pound pairs, pound Audi. Pound Audi, you need to look at the higher degree structure and everything just falls into place. And this is what we have. This is the sequence that we have on pound Audi. We are looking for this X. So do not rush in just because I've got an X wave and expecting a push higher there. You need to get confirmation. You need to get confirmation. If we made a 3-wave move down, we'll expect a move to the upside. But if you look at the structure closely, let's show if I go to the 4-hour, we've got a blue box there somewhere. There's the blue box. It has not really been reached. It was missed by a few pips. So this is actually not the structure, and not the structure, but the structure is a 3-wave move to the downside. It's possible that this can still push into the blue box before it goes. This does that, push lower before we go. Can we even come back, recess before it goes? But we know that whatever is happening here is in a red X wave, and when it is complete, we're going to take it up, and after taking it up, we're going to take a big move to the downside. Okay, so now you wait for this to correct here. You may get a move all the way back to that level. Okay, and this pair moves very fast, so you can get that in the next week. Let's see how that plays out. That's pound Audi. Pound Chief. Pound Chief, it's a seller. You just keep selling this one. We've been talking about this one for a while now. So every time it makes 3-wave bounces like this one currently, that is broken down. Every time it does that, you just keep selling it. You keep selling this one as well. So this one may come back and make this one. So if you look on the daily, the reason why we're going to keep selling Pound Chief, this is the reason why we've been selling Pound Chief and not looking any other direction. It doesn't matter how the pulse looks to the upside, but we are looking for Chief to go all the way down to this level that we've marked there. So if this keeps going like that, we're going to eventually come to that level. So Pound Chief is still very bearish. Pound Audi we spoke about. Pound CAD. Let's have a look at Pound CAD. So Pound CAD, we are still within this 1, 2, 3 waves down. So I thought this was going to make a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is a double XY correction, come down for 1, unless and before it goes to the upside. We're looking for this one to give us a structure like this, a harmonic pattern like this that ends around the, let's get the right pattern here, the harmonic pattern that ends around the 88 area, which is something like this, because we have seen it happen before. B, and then this one becomes a C around the 88 area. So that's what we're going to be looking at for this to complete at that area. You can see that this one actually breaks the trend line. So as I always say, the trend line does not mean anything. It can be broken and then you can push up higher again. Okay, so we'll look at the structure and not the trend lines. Trend line is just guidance to see how the structures are playing out. So now we've made an impulsive move down. So if you get a correction here on Pound CAD, this would have only made, let's take this off, it would have only made now only 3-wave move to the upside. Let's switch everything off. Clear. A 3-wave move to the upside like that. 1, 2, 3, an extended wave C, and we're coming down with this one. So this candle currently does not mean anything. It could be just a move like that. So there will be a 3-wave move, and then we expect downside. So overall target is around this area. So we're still gonna push lower. Even if this gives you a 5-way or 11 swing correction like that, we will still expect further downside to around the 88, or at least retest. This will be an invalidation area for this one. Okay, in terms of the Gartley pattern that we're looking at there. All right. It's actually a bad pattern that we're looking at in that area. That's pound chief, pound Audi, pound CAD, pound in New Zealand. Very interesting structure on pound in New Zealand. If you remember, we were actually even looking at this structure as a triangle here, this corrective structure as a triangle like this. Okay, but that may not be the case. Let's have a look what this could do. So this could have been a one wave down, and we would have completed a three wave move to the upside. 1, 2, 3. This is a textbook move like that. So there's nothing that stops pound New Zealand from coming down for one down before we go. It does not have to come all the way down. It can turn anyway because it has broken the top here. So it can make a running flat, it can make an irregular flat, it can make an expanding flat. So that is the tricky part about this one. You will not know when it reverses. So you need to wait for it to do that and give you an impulse to indicate that that move would have completed for upside. Otherwise, just like that, you cannot trade it. You need to eliminate the other possibilities. This is the original labeling that we had. We were looking at this as a triangle like that. It looked like a perfect triangle, but if you look at the structure now and the fact that this is reversed here, it does not look much like a triangle anymore, but rather a 1, 2, 3, a 1, 2, 3 wave move in the middle, a move there, a move there before we go, like a complex B correction there. All right, that's pound. So let's see the next immediate move on this one. If you look on the 4 hour, so that may have completed the 3 wave move down. Doesn't look like it has reached the blue box yet, but even if it doesn't, that will it's still possible to have this one reversing back to that area. That is pound New Zealand. Okay, so even just a move like that, and we start downside as per the cycle and the sequence that we're looking at in the higher degree. All right, so that's pound New Zealand. I think that's all the pound pairs. We can look now on the euro pairs. Euro pairs have got are very interesting at this stage. I think there's a specifically euro Audi has got an interesting structure. Pound, euro pound. Even if I don't show you the whole structure, you can clearly see that we've made a 3-wave move down and we've made an impulse, and the next move after the correction is to come and retest that level. I'm even thinking now break above that level. A couple of weeks back, we were looking for this move to the downside, but this move went down in 3 waves. Okay, we were looking for this move, which has now happened, but it came down in 1, 2, not 1, 2, 3, but rather an ABC move or a double. It's actually an ABC move down. So that shows you that it is not a passing move down and it's not a reversal. So there's a likelihood that this will go and retest this level. It's likelihood that this will go back to that level, the level that we tested in August of last year. Because this would have made now a 3-wave move up, a 3-wave back, and now we're making this one. Okay, likelihood that we're going to go back to the 93. Structure is now clearer than when we were only here. So that's what you, in the short term, look for this entry point in the 1 hour. Take it and hold it. Move to break even when you get there and let it run. That's euro pound. Interesting. It has never been clearer than this since the last 12 months. Right, let's look at Euro New Zealand. Euro New Zealand, same as the other Euro pairs, we'll expect corrections here for it to push higher. Need to show you again what we're looking at. We're looking for Euro New Zealand to go and retest that level. So any corrective structure here, you take it up. Doesn't matter if it's making these strong candles to the downside. So like this one on the daily, it can just do that and push high. So if you're a short-term trader, you can actually take these short-term downs, but you're looking for this one to come back to that level. Euro Audi. So Euro Audi. Let's look at Euro Audi. Euro Audi has made this diagonal. Let's show the labeling there. Euro AUD could go and could be making an impulsive move to the upside. So this could be a 1-2, and we're looking for a 3 there, a 4 there, and a 5. So what you're getting now is a correction in the purple degree. Let's look here. Are we on the daily? Let's go 4 hour and look for that correction. So you're getting an entry point in the purple degree. This has actually made a regular flat. So that means this is ready. Okay, so this is why I said there is a very interesting trade on Euro AUD. You've got a 3-wave correction on the purple wave. Okay, so this wave 4 is in purple. So you've got this pulsing move, you've got this correction. You can take this, put a stop there, and wait for this to rally for a wave 3 and the last piece of 4. Okay, so Euro AUD, there is a trade there to take. Actually, almost right about now, you can actually take this one. But I'm not here to give you signals, guys. I'm just giving you my views on the pair. So this looks like it's ready now. Ready, put a stop loss around there, push it to that level. So if you get that, you're going to take it to that level. And that level is this one here. Let's go to the daily. That level that you see there is where we are looking for this to go. Okay. Initially, that's where we want this to go for at least a reaction if we're still going to push higher. But the structure sequence is telling us more upside on this. Just want to look at it again closely. This is ready. Okay. It's actually ready. Let's carry on with the rest of the pairs. Right, so that's Euro AUD. Come give me a Coke if you get this trade in the next week, next coming sessions. It's a very interesting one. Right, so let's carry on with the rest of the Euro pairs. EURJPY. EURJPY, similar. We have made this 3-wave move to the downside and has made an impulse. It is making this correction now. Is this going to push higher from here? It's going to come back for one down before we go. But we've got a pulsing move up. And it usually gives these small pulsing moves before it pushes higher. And it has done that before. If you look on the daily, look at this pulse here on the daily. We've traded this one, all this move here. And we've also done it during the webinar like this. So we expected that this move was going to break to the upside and come. My initial target was, actually my target was for it to just break the top and come down. Okay, but instead it broke and come back like that. So now we have made this move can also just be a 3-wave pullback because this is the 100% there. So it could just be getting a 3-wave move and a push down like that. But that move on the daily is not a short one. So you may want to take this one quickly to the upside and take it down. Okay, but don't trade it on the daily. Do it in the lower time frame, like your 1 hour time frame. Okay. So in the 1 hour, let's see how this looks like. Looks like 1, 2, 3, and we're ready to go. Okay. So it will be, if you get another correction here, you can take it. So like I said, it can just make a 3-wave move and come back to the blue box before it actually goes. So you need to keep an eye on both scenarios with that. That's EURJPY, AUD, CAD, New Zealand, Pound. We've covered all the Euro pairs. So let's look at some of the random pairs here. So AUD, New Zealand. Let's look at some of the AUD pairs. We're not going to look at everything. AUD, New Zealand, in terms of structure, it's looking for downside here. We've made a 3-wave move down. And now we're correcting in this 3 waves move to the downside. Could do that and drop. Okay, you can get a push higher and drop. So here you need to take it level for level. Let's go to the 1 hour before we break down. That is the 3-wave. We've traded these 3 waves to the downside. So 1, 2, 3 down, and what you're getting now here is this pulsing move, another pulsing move, a correction here, another pulsing move. That's why we'll expect that we're going to get a possible one that goes back there before we come. This one does not have to happen. It will all depend on how this plays out here. If this starts becoming a correction, we're taking it down. Okay, so a bit of a waiting game there, but once it is complete, it's going to be a very interesting trade, whether it's going to go one up, then down, or it's going to go from here. But at this stage, it looks like it's going to go one up. So a corrective structure in the 1 hour, you're taking it up to that level. Okay, that's Audi New Zealand. But like I said, it can just be a 3-wave move and a drop. So the 3-wave move will be nice because that will look like a flag. We can trade it as a flag. Either scenario, we need to keep watching these trades. I'm going to look at New Zealand CAD. So New Zealand CAD, let's go higher time frame daily. We're making a 3-wave move up in the lower degree. We still want this to come down though. Let's have a look here. We've made a 3-wave move up. Could make another one, come retest this one, making an expanding flat here because we still want this to come down to the blue box, which is around that area. Okay, short term, it looks like it's looking up. Let's go 1 hour. And that is that 3-wave move that we have there. 3-wave move. So after this 3-wave move, we could get the drop. But it looks like it wants to get one more before we drop. With that correction, one more before we drop. All right, so that is New Zealand CAD. Which other one can we have a look here? I think that's it. We can look at oil. My apologies, guys. I missed oil last week. So that's why you guys must tell me when you're attending the webinar if I'm missing any pairs. So let's update oil. We didn't do it last week, but the structure is still playing out pretty nicely. Oil. So oil, we're looking at this current structure as a correction. So this is a 1, 2, 3 down, 1, 2, 3 up. This can come back and retest that, come back down for one before we carry on with the move to the upside. Okay, so it does not have to go all the way. And the reason why I was saying CAD will still push higher is because I'm looking at this one to still push a little bit higher. Maybe even take here, come down for one before we go. Okay, that will make a 1, 2, 3 down, 1, 2, 3 up, and a passing move down, and then we go. So this will be making this one as a regular or an expanding flat if this one breaks and come back. Okay, so that's how oil is looking. Very interesting and a clearer structure. Small time correction in the lower degree. You can buy them for upside, but it's already rallied and it's risky to buy there because this move can happen at any time. That is oil. Right. We can look at the indices now. The indices are very clear at this stage. Let's have a look at them. So S&P 500, exactly as we've mentioned, that this will break this level. Clearly, simply because the NASDAQ had already broken that level, it broke it and continued to the upside. So I said here last week that this will also correct here and we're going to keep pushing higher. Okay, so if this is making a 5-wave move to the upside, the next target is around the 307 area. So keep getting these corrective structures until you get to the 307 area. That is the S&P 500. The NASDAQ has already broken this level. Let's look at the NASDAQ. So this is that level that was broken by the NASDAQ. Yes, you can see that the NASDAQ broke that level. When did it break it? In March. And the S&P 500 only broke it last week. Okay, so now we're getting this. It could be a simple 3-wave pullback for further upside. The NASDAQ is looking for a wave. Let's see if I've got that wave. I think it's wave 5. Okay, I did not put it on there. Must be in the higher degree. But what you have there is a clear 5-wave move. How do you trade this one in the short term? Let's look in the 4-hour. So the 4-hour, it's possible that you've made a passing move down, a 3-wave move up. One, you need to get that before we get to push higher. Okay, that's the NASDAQ, clear structure. Right, that's still the Nasdaq. UK 100, this one is amazing. This one is amazing. You see those arrows there? Indicated that it's going to go into the blue box and reverse. Even though it's slightly pushed below the blue box, look how accurate this is. Even before this correction, I think I told you the story when one of our traders had buys on this pair when we were around this area. And I said, this is going to correct, come back down for one before it goes up. So the decision is up to him to decide whether he's going to offload some of those buys that he had. He must have bought around this area. I'm not sure exactly which area he bought. So he wanted advice as to how this was going to play out. So you don't get scared of the market if you understand the direction and how it plays out. So this is amazing. I think this was the trade that this was the setup that I sent before it happened. Let's see if I still have it here for ease of reference. Let me just check it on our Slack group here. I'm gonna look for it on the secondary screen because it was a personal conversation between these traders. So I just want you to show, I just want to show that this does not happen in hindsight. Let's have a look here. If I can find it quickly, I'll show you. If I can't, then you'll probably see it next week. So let's see here. If I can find it. Just a second, guys. Let's see. Okay, I don't think I have those right here. But if you look at, I actually discussed this when it happened. I think it was about 3 weeks back. So if you keep looking on the FTSE, you'll see that we've got this. So now what is the next trade? So it is to look for this upside. So this has made a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this could be a 1, and you'll expect a bigger correction before it starts going, like the rest of the pairs. So the others have already started moving in 5 waves. So the next move here is to get a correction and a push higher on the UK 100. Very interesting structure. Right. Let's carry on with the rest of the indices. Now we look at the Nikkei, similar structure as UK 100. Let's have a look there. This one also, I'll expect it to break this. That's the level that the S&P 500 has now broken. The Nasdaq has now broken. This one is also coming for that. Okay, so let's see what happens in that area. Can this be a 3-wave move? We get this one down before we go. I don't think that this one is possible, but rather we're gonna keep getting the move to the upside, keep getting corrections, and keep breaking this. Okay, so that's what I expect. If watch for corrective structures in the lower degree. 240 in the 1 hour is decent enough. You can never look at it there. Okay, so that's how that one looks. Very interesting. Right, let's do the rest of the indices. That's the Nikkei. Now looking at the DAX. So the DAX has made this 3-wave move to the downside, has now made this passing move to the upside. It was busy correcting with these 3 waves. So now that 3 waves has completed and now you're starting an impulse. So similarly here, you're getting a correction here. Getting this correction and out of this means you may get a trade that will go back and retest that level. As I've indicated, this level has been also already been broken by the UK 100, but so not the UK 100, by the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq. UK 100 is also on its way there. So this one can end up in that level as well. Okay, but initially it has to first clear this one. Very easy to follow on these ones. Right, that is the DAX, the German index. Okay, now we can look at the Nifty as well. So the Nifty is busy with a corrective structure. So let's look how that correction is going to play out. You've got a 3-wave move to the downside. We don't know how this 3-wave correction is going to play out, whether it's going to play out something like this. So keep an eye and wait for this to correct because we're still going to push higher with that. This is not done as yet. Okay, so that is the Nifty. So I'm comparing the Nifty with this Sun Pharmaceutical stock from the Indian Stock Exchange. Okay, obviously it has to track the index Sun Pharmaceutical. Sun is actually SUN. Okay, I think most of you know the story and why I'm tracking this index. It is for one of our traders from India who trades the stocks. So he asked me to do this for him. So I'm looking at this as a three-wave down. There's a possibility for it to go up again, come back down, and then push higher. But this will only be a corrective structure. And the bigger it is, the more the clearer it's going to be, or it's going to give the opportunity for those that have not entered it when I posted this a couple of months back around June. So the guys who are trading this bought this one here based on the structure that we have here, and they just keep on riding it from that level. Okay, so the target is still very far here, still very far. So that's why all continuation patterns are still good to buy, still gonna go. So that's why the index is gonna keep going as well. All right. Let's look now at lastly the cryptocurrencies. We'll start with Bitcoin. Just check what's on the chat box. Oh, thanks. We missed EURJPY. Let's have a look at EURJPY. Thanks, guys. Before we go to the cryptocurrencies, let's do EURJPY. Fazad is asking, the premium group is only for members. Yes, it's only for members. This is a free group. So EURJPY, I'm on the 4 hour. You've got 3 waves down. Let's clear that. You've got 3 waves down, and that's it's moving for 1 up. So you've got this here, correction here, will push up higher. Okay. So let's just have a look here. We actually traded, which one did we trade? Not this one. We traded this one to the downside before the downside, the one in green. So let's see how this is playing out. 1, 2, 3 up, that's what we traded, and coming down here as well, breaking this level. Is this going to retest this level, giving us this as an X before we come down? So that's what it looks like at this stage. So we're still pushing a little bit higher on EURJPY. We wanted it to come down all the way. I actually didn't even expect this deep correction. I just wanted it to go straight because it's a structure that I was looking for. All right, but now let's look for this one to go to that level. And that will be that expanding flat. Can even break it before it comes down. Okay, so that's EURJPY. Thanks, guys. If I missed any pair, please let me know. Let's look at the cryptocurrencies. Bitcoin. Right, so Bitcoin short term. Let's get the annotation too. Short term, you've got a pulsing, a 3-wave move up, and it looks like it's still giving a pulsing move, so it could give one more up before we drop. So let's look at the overall structure. If there's any changes on the daily, none that I see so far. Right, so the way the cryptocurrencies are looking right now is that let's just have a look here. It looks like we're gonna drop very low. They're gonna drop them very low, but at some point these are going to rally because they're starting to form what we call a V pattern. If this keeps coming down here, keeps coming down to those low levels here with that same structure, then we are going to get a rally at least in 3 waves like that. Okay, don't know if it's going to be rally with that wave from there as soon as it comes down to that level. We will be able to forecast how far this one is going to go if we get this bounce. Okay, but either way, we should get a rally, and it seems like this is they're gonna push them very low, and I think when most people are not interested, then this may start rallying. But for now, we are building this slowly. Let's keep an eye on this. It's not going to happen tomorrow or next week, but that's how this is playing out. You can see that this, just between here and here, took all of almost 6 months. Okay, so that's slow. So let's see how that plays out. I'm not really trading the cryptos at the moment because they're just doing this. I mean, you cannot be trading a structure like this unless you're a scalper. Right, so that is Bitcoin. I'm expecting that this small move here, push up, come down for now. Litecoin. Litecoin, also similar to Bitcoin, is just missing the blue box by a few pips. So that can push a little bit higher, giving us this regular flat, then come into the blue box before a reaction from that level. Okay, so if it's short term and you're looking for a trade here, either way, those trades are going to be very risky. Let's expand it. Those trades are going to be very risky. We've made a 3-wave move to the upside. We've made a 3-wave move down. If you get a correction here, you can get another 3-wave move to the downside. Okay, so it's going very slowly. They're going very slowly, not very interesting to trade at this stage. Okay, we'll just keep an eye on them. I think the moves are coming. They're gonna come soon. Let's look at Ethereum. Ethereum, similar structure that we're going to be looking at on Bitcoin if it has made a 3-wave move. Okay, is this going to bounce and give us a correction? If it does that, then that means that that's a you can call that one as a zigzag, not necessarily a flat, although it is going a bit sideways, so you can decide which name to give it. So if you get a pulsing move like that, it will give you one more up before down. Okay, so let's just look at the higher degree. So this one, we know that it is lagging the other cryptocurrencies in terms of structure. Okay, so we have made this 3-wave move here. Does not mean that it is reversing. It can still come back for one to the downside. And this is happening at the 61. So you may get a very strong trade. Let's just look here. You may get a guaranteed trade once this is done all the way down. So let's see how far this will go. So if it goes all the way down, at some point, as I said, the way the cryptocurrencies are going right now, they will get to a point where they actually rally, but they push them very, very low. All right, so that's Ethereum. And lastly, Ripple. Ripple, you've got that pulsing move that completed the Y. See, I've not even opened this pair since the last webinar, but you can see where the Y has completed. So now we'll look for, let's look at, we've got 1, we've got 2, we've got 3. So whatever happens here could be a corrective structure for one more down, or it could be ready to go from here. This is a pulsing move to the downside. Could be ready, or even do something like that. But otherwise, this is only a correction for downside. All right, guys, thank you for joining me. Hope you have a safe trading week ahead. See, Sherid is asking for US dollar TRY. We don't usually discuss it, but let's just have a look at it for interest's sake. US dollar TRY. Quickly, let's have a look. So US dollar TRY looks like these are the emerging currencies. So you've got a pulsing move there. Let's just get my annotation tool out again. So we've made a pulsing move to the upside. We've got another pulsing move. Now this looks like it has made another move, corrective move here. So it's a possibility for this to push up here and keep pushing lower here. But you're gonna wait for this to complete this structure like that. So sideways, not easy to trade this one. You need to wait for this to complete. So similar to what you have on US dollar ZAR, as part of the emerging currencies, they've made these big pulsing moves to the upside, and now they're busy correcting. And while they're correcting, that's an opportunity. That's where most people that would have made money on this start losing money here, because you'll be trading up and down without necessarily seeing the exact directions. So that's why it's important to rather wait until this structure has completed. It is a sideways structure. It's not going anywhere. Okay, so only when it is complete, then you can take the trade, and it is corrective. It does not look like it's reversing. So when it is done, you will see, because even the structure and the sequence will be clear. All right. Okay, guys, I'm going to end it here. Hope you guys have a safe week. Let's stop the video right here. Enjoy your weekend, rest of the week. Those are in South Africa, enjoy your Heritage Day. Cheers. Bye-bye.